previous lecture, where one example is pending. Here in this example, what we are saying from a lot of 10 items, 3 items are defective. From a lot of total items are 10 and it contains 3 defectives, and we have taken a sample. A sample of 4 items is drawn at random. Are you getting it? Total in a bag or from a lot, we can say, let us take one example. We have total of 10 items. Out of these 10, we have 3 which are defective. It is known to us that there are 3 defective items. And how many we are drawing? We are going to take out 4 items. Correct? Now what we are saying, let the random variable x, capital X, denote the number of defective items in the sample space. Here we are denoting that how many defective items are there in a sample space, that is denoted by capital X. Now what we have to do, we have to answer the following when the sample is drawn without replacement. Without replacement, it means we are going to take it out and it will not be replaced back. Correct? So how we are going to calculate? The question is saying we have to find out first the probability distribution of x, and then we have to find out the probability that x is less than equal to 1, x is less than 1, and p is lying between 0 to 2. Now it is greater than 0 and less than 2, it means we are talking about 1. Correct? Because we are talking about x values, so x can be any discrete value, it can be continuous. So let us consider that we have these 10 items numbered from 1 to 10. So if we remember how we have to find out in how many ways we can select 4 items out of 10. So it can be given by 10C4. If any of the student is getting a doubt, then let me know. Otherwise, according to me, we have already discussed that in how many ways we have to go for that 4 items can be collected. We have learned about if r items can be collected out of n, then what are the possible ways. Correct? And thus we have learned as NCR. So here we are going to select 4 items out of 10. So the total ways are 10C4. Now here we are saying 3 items are defective. Let us take 1, 2, 3. These are defective. So when we are going to take how many defectives are coming out, so might be in the 4, either 0 can be defective, 1 can be defective, 2 can be defective, or 3 can be defective. Right? These are the total possibilities. Now we have to consider the different case. Case 1 we are taking when no defective items are coming, when we are selecting 4 items out of 10. Correct? We are selecting 4 items out of 10 and we are saying no defective is coming out. So when no defective is coming out, it means now our sample space is reducing to these 7. Total are 10, 3 are defective, and we are looking for number of outcomes with no defective. No defective means now we are going from these 7. Correct? So the probability of no defective is 7C4 divided by 10C4. And if we solve it, we are getting the value 1 by 6. Correct? Now the case 2 is when we are getting 1 defective. 1 defective means we have total are still 7 which are non-defective, but the 1 can be defective. So this can be defective, this can be defective, or this defective can come into the picture. Means we have to calculate 7C4 plus 7C4 plus 7C4. Correct? Sorry, 3. It has to be 3. It's just by mistake. It is 7C3. So it is 7C3 plus 7C3 plus 7C3. And here one item is defective. So the probability of getting one defective is 3 into 7C3 divided by 10C4. Why we are saying? Because from this one item is coming and 3 are coming from these. Means in the earlier case we told about that we have selected 4 items with no defective. So the 4 are coming from this part. Now we are saying 1 is defective. So 1 is defective. So 1 is coming from this part and 3 is coming from this part. That's why it is 7C3. Out of 7 we are selecting 3 and 1 is coming from this part. So it is 3C1. Correct? This is the way we can write down. Okay, Anwar is there. Let me make him in. Wait, I got a message from Anwar. Let's see. Yes. If anyone is coming after the starting of the class, be sure to give a message as Anwar has given me. Otherwise, I will not come to know that Anwar is waiting for me to permit to come inside. Correct? Chale, it doesn't matter. Okay. What we are discussing is now we have earlier what we have total 10 and we are saying 3 are defective. So how many cases are there when no defectives are there? Only one thing is there, that out of 10 we are selecting 4 and all are coming from the non-defective. So we have 7C4, no defective is there. Now we are saying one defective is there. So we have 3 items which are defective and 7 outside which are non-defective. So in the total ways, here we have done a correction. So that how many ways we can select? Here it is 7. Out of 7 we are selecting 3 and 1 is coming from this. So actually it is 3C1. Correct? So 3C1 means 3. So it is 3 into 7C3 divided by 10C4 gives me the value 1 by 2. So this is the second case. Third case here saying 2 defectives. Correct? So in the same way we have to do 7C2 out of the total 10, as we have done the partition, that these 3 are defective, 1 2 3, and here we have 7. Now we are saying 2 are defective, so from these 3 we are selecting 2. So the number of ways are 3C2, and from these 7 we are selecting 2 because total we need 4. So it is 3C2 into 7C2. Correct? Again, it's giving me the value 3. 3C2 is 3. And the total probability is given by 3 into 7C2 by 10C4, which is 3 by 10. Correct? Similarly, we have created the fourth case. Fourth case, we are saying 3 are defective. Correct? 3 are defective means here from this 7, let me draw it again. From this 7, we are getting only 1. Correct? And these 3 are coming into the picture as such. So here we have discussed this cases 1 2 3 are coming in each and every picture when we are selecting, but the others are coming once, means from these 7 we are selecting any one item. If they are numbered from 1 to 10, obviously we are getting the value, it could be 4 5 6 7 8 9 or 10. Correct? So the probability of getting all 3 defective is 7C1. Correct? And 3C3, if we have to write down, it can be written as, the numerator part is actually 3C3 into 7C1. So we are getting the value as 7, which is your numerator part. And if I divide it by 10C4, finally we are getting the value as 1 by 30. Correct? So why we have calculated these 4 cases? Because we have to calculate the probability distribution that we have discussed. That probability distribution means whatever the value a random variable can take, we have to calculate their probabilities and make it as a table. So whatever the probabilities are, we have written over here 1 by 6, 1 by 2, 3 by 10 and 1 by 30. And hence this is the probability distribution of the case when we are talking about total 10 items. 3 are defectives. So in how many ways we can select 4 items. So and we have to discuss the probability distribution. So here we are given 0 can be defective, 1 defective, 2 defective or 3 defective. So this is how we have done. Correct? If you have any doubt regarding this, you can let me know. Otherwise, let us start with the more examples which I have shared with the PPT today. It's already being shared with you. Correct? And attendance still I have not taken. We are going to discuss some of the examples, and whenever some question will be given to you, then I will mark the attendance. Let us start. But any doubts if you have, or should I continue? If you're not asking, obviously I will take it that you are getting all the things and I will start with the next thing. Let us start. Here we have again example on the distribution function followed by the expectation, because the next topic that we are going to start with is the expectation, and still we have not covered with all the examples, so some of the examples are to be taken. Here we have the probability density function of a random variable is given by this function fx is equal to k x minus 1 into 2 minus x, and it is given for x lying between 1 to 2. Correct? We are saying determine the value of the constant k. If you remember, last time we have calculated that we have been provided with the values of x. Different values are given to us and corresponding px is given to us. What we have done, it was given in the form of k, I think. It was this type of question. And how we have calculated? We have calculated that the sum of all the probabilities should be 1. So we have written all the probabilities, and then we have calculated what must be the value of k from there. Here, the first thing that I'm sure you have checked, that here we have probability density function. And what we have discussed, in case of discrete variable, we are looking for the probability mass function, and for the continuous one we are looking for density word. Correct? So from here you have to be sure that what actually we are going to calculate. Here they're saying that the probability density function is given by this. So fx is given to us for x lying between 1 to 2, and we have to determine the value of this k. Then we have to find out the distribution function. If you remember what distribution function is, fx is given by probability of capital X less than equal to small x. Correct? And one more probability is being asked, what is the probability when capital X lies between 5 by 4 and 3 by 2. Correct? So since it is the first time we are going for the continuous, we have to see what the properties we can use. So we have written, since fx is a probability density function given to us, we have minus infinity to infinity fx dx is equal to 1. This is as per the definition. If you remember, this is the definition. So what fx is? Fx is given by k into x minus 1 into 2 minus x, and the limits x is given from 1 to 2. These are the limits. So when we are going to use it, what we have to do? We have to integrate from 1 to 2. While doing the values, we have to integrate, means in this fx you have to substitute the values, and then you have to integrate from here. What values we have? We have from minus infinity to infinity, but in order to calculate we need the limits to be taken as finite, which is given here, that for which range of x the function is defined. Correct? So here we have 1 to 2, x minus 1 into 2 minus x dx is equal to 1. This is by the property. And if I simplify it, taking the product, we are getting 3x minus x square minus 2. Correct? And now if you remember what the rules of integrations are, we can write down 3 into the integration of x. Integration of x will give me x square by 2. Then minus as such, x square integration is x cube by 3 and minus of 2. So here we have integration of 1. So it will give me x. And then we have to take the limits from 1 to 2. If I substitute it here, okay, Arjun is also here. Beta, continue with it. Let me take a pause and let Arjun in. Continue with the integration if you have written. I'm not getting request from Arjun. Yes, got it. Chal. Arjun, you are answering very late, beta. Next time, be sure to be punctual. Correct? So what we have discussed is, we have, might be you have done with the integration. We have the limits from 1 to 2. So if I substitute here, first the value of x is 2 and then 1. And on simplifying it, we are getting k by 6 is equal to 1. So from here we can say the value of k is 6. Correct? So we have used the property. What the property we have used? You have to write it down. You have to remember it, that whenever we are working with the continuous distribution, and how I will come to know that it is continuous, when probability density function is given. So we have been provided with minus infinity to infinity fx dx is 1. So this property you can use, and from here I can calculate whatever is missing. So here we have k is equal to 6. And if you open the book that I have already uploaded on the LPU Live, you can see a lots of examples are there which are unsolved. For you, you have to practice it. Otherwise, if you are not getting the answers, what you can do is take any engineering mathematics book, and in this stats part, A lot of examples will be there in which you have to use the properties of probability density function, probability mass function, and hence something is to be calculated using these definitions. Correct? So here if we see how we are saying, we have calculated k is equal to 6, but how to write it down? We have to say fx is equal to this. Means here we have substituted k is equal to 6 and we are getting 6 into x minus 1 2 minus 6 for only this interval when x is lying between 1 to 2. And what otherwise? We have to write down, otherwise it is 0. Correct? This is how we are going to write down. Now this is the first part we have done. We have obtained the value of k. Second thing we are saying, the distribution function. If you remember what the distribution function is, distribution function we have learned that if it is a discrete one, we are saying probability of capital X less than equal to X, and that can be obtained by a summation that we have done. That if we have probability of capital X less than equal to a certain value, then we have taken the summation is there. Here in the continuous case, integration is there, and what change is there? The limit is from minus infinity to x. Correct? For the probability density function, we had written minus infinity to infinity. Here you can see this one. Here we have the limits from minus infinity to infinity. Now what we have, it's minus infinity to x. Correct? And what we are saying, minus infinity to x. So we have fx is equal to 0 for x less than 1, because we have written that for 1 to 2 only we are getting the value of fx. And this is what we have written here. You can see from x 1 to 2 we are getting fx is equal to this. So what we have to do, in place of minus infinity to x, we can write down 1 to x. So fx we have written because the values are lying for 1 to 2. When x lies between 1 to 2, the values are given by here this. So we have taken minus infinity to x, 1 to x. I think the author have not written correctly. This is a snapshot from your textbook, but if I have to write it down, it is just I have to take the limits. Let me show you. Finally, what we have to do, we have to take this limit 1 to 2. This, I think it's better to go here directly because that was not clear. What we normally do is, if we have from minus infinity to x, now we write it down as minus infinity to 1, 1 to x, and then x to 2. Like this, we have to break it. So here it's better that we are taking minus infinity to 1, 1 to 2, and 2 to x, because if I show you again, here we have taken minus infinity to x. So this is as per the integration rule, we have divided it minus infinity to 1. If we are leaving at 1, we have to start from 1. It is 1 to 2 and 2 to x. And as per the definition, function is defined only for this interval 1 to 2. So we have to write down here only the function 6 x minus 1 2 minus x, and otherwise it is 0. So I think it's better that you can skip all this part. It doesn't require. You can directly go here. Correct? And now if you put the values from 1 to 2, it is giving you the value which is equal to 1. Correct? So this is for x greater than 2. Okay, they have actually divided into the piecewise function. So they are saying that capital Fx is equal to 0, which is for x less than 1. For x lying between 1 to 2, they are going to take this definition from 1 to x when they have integrated. And at the final one, for x greater than 2, now they have taken from 1 to 2. Correct? One more student I think is coming in. I'm not sure. Arjun. Arjun. I'm not sure. Actually, let's see. Chilivita, if you have written this question, go through it again till I will finalize the attendance, because after that I will not allow anybody to come in and join the class. Correct. Let's see how many of you are here and active. Misa,
Present, ma'am.
Rishita,
Present, ma'am.
Pritam,
Present, ma'am.
Mukesh,
Present, ma'am.
Kavita. Kavita.
Present, ma'am. Karthik.
Okay, beta. Mahendra, Mahendra, Shubham, Sairam,
Present, ma'am.
okay. Vaibhav,
Present, ma'am.
then Deepta,
Present, ma'am.
Arjun.
Present, ma'am.
Arjun, you joined us late, na? Hmm? Malik,
Present, ma'am.
Shubham,
Present, ma'am.
Dheeraj,
Yes, ma'am.
Puneet,
Present, ma'am.
Pranay,
Present, ma'am.
Aniket, Keshika,
Present, ma'am.
Farhan,
Present, ma'am.
Praful,
Present, ma'am.
Ujjwal,
Yes, ma'am.
Anwar, Anwar, are you there? Himanshu Sharma,
Present, ma'am.
Himanshu Khanduri.
Yes, ma'am. Manshu Khanduri present.
Okay, beta. So let me repeat those who are absent. Mahin, Aniket, and Anwar. Three are absent. And today I have taken here about at 4:30, and I have allowed to most of you after 4:10. Next time, be sure that if you are coming, be punctual, be on time, and do not request me that you was there and I have not marked. Correct? Because it is just open to all of you when you are coming. Then only I have to mark you. Correct? I think it will take time. Let me log in it again. Till then, continue with the question and ask me if you are getting it out, because here we have used a piecewise function where the function is defined from a particular range 1 to 2, and we have defined it in the three parts, that if it is less than 0 how it is defined, if it is greater than 0 how it is defined, and so on. Okay, let me repeat those who are marked absent: Aniket, Anwar, and Mahendra. Is it correct? Anwar is here. Anwar, have you given me the attendance? Hello? Let us continue. You can go with the example again because the PPT is with you. We have already discussed. So, in case you are getting doubt, let me know. Or you can take more examples from the book that I have uploaded, your ebook, the textbook. So, you can follow that also. Right? Let's go for the next one. We are saying that you have to calculate the probability when x is lying from 5 by 4 to 3 by 2. So this definition, again we are going to use this property. Actually we have learned that when x lying between a to b and we have to calculate the probability, how to do it. We have written that it can be written as fb minus fa, if you remember, or go through the ppt again, you will find out this rule was written over there as a property. Then probability in case of the continuous distribution when x is lying between a and a to b is given by fb minus fa, correct, where capital F is a distribution function. So here using this definition, by putting x as 3 by 2 in the function and 5 by 4, we are getting these values, and finally we have this answer 11 by 32. Another approach is also being showed here, that we can directly use the integration, that what is the value of the fx when we have to integrate it from 5 by 4 to 3 by 2. So most probably this will also the same type of complexity it has, so it depends upon you, because here what we have to integrate it and we have to put the limit 5 by 4 to 3 by 2, correct. Here also we are doing actually the same thing. It is just a type of thing we have written as a formula in the properties that we have learned, or you can directly go from this, it will also give you the same answer. The complexity is same, so it is up to you, both are fine, correct. So here we have calculated the probability that a random variable capital X is lying from taking the value from 5 by 4 to 3 by 2. Right? Let us start with the next example. Here again we have defined with a function and we are looking for the probabilities. What the thing is given, a random variable X is exponentially distributed with the probability density function. Now whenever we are talking about density function, what it is? It's a continuous one. Correct? And you can see how we have defined. We are saying fx is equal to 1 by 40 e raised to power minus x by 40 for x greater than 0, and it is 0 otherwise whenever it is less than equal to 0. When it is 0 or less than means negative, its value is 0. Whenever it is more than 0, its value is probability of its value is given by this expression. Correct? So take out your pen and paper and find out the probability that capital X is less than equal to 20. Less than equal to 20. Obviously it is greater than 0. Less than equal to 20, because otherwise when we have to go in the negative side, it is not possible. So what we have to do, we have to integrate. Let me show you. The same you have to do by yourself. I'm waiting for you. It is just I'm showing you that you have to do the integration in all the three parts, and you have to do the concept using the concept of the probabilities. Correct? So once you have seen, PPT was already with you, so might be have done, just take your pen and paper and try to find out the first one. Then we will discuss regarding the other two, because course is very much as compared to the time allotted, and you have to practice various examples from your books. Here I have taken just some of the examples. Correct? So try it out. Tell me what should be the first answer. And if we have to revise, what is the integral or the integration of e raised to power ax? So it is a into e raised to power ax. Means whenever exponential is there and we are taking the integral, only a will come outside the integral, and the remaining part will take the limits, means it is the answer of the integration. So find it out and write down what the answer should be. We are taking 1 by 40 integral e raised to minus x by 40 dx. So just do the integration, put the limits, and regarding the limits, what we are saying, it is for greater than 0, and we are looking for probability of capital X less than equal to 20. Any other doubts if you are getting, you can let me know. Else use your pen and paper and write down the answer, whatever you are thinking it's correct. And there's no need to solve as a whole. You can write on whatever you are getting.
In chat box, I can write answer by.
Yeah, obviously. Write on whatever the parts you are getting.
Answer 1 is that. Yes.
Okay, Manshu has written 1 minus e raised to power minus half. Okay, any other one who wants to try? Write down the answer. But all of you can do it. It's just a simple one. And when you will practice the questions from the book, now you will see a lots of examples are there. And one more thing, let me tell you, you have to do just on the outlines of what we are doing here. Because if you will open the book that I have uploaded, there are lots of things. Lots of definitions are lying over there, lots of examples based upon the same concepts are there. But according to me, if you are practicing just the same kind of work now, that's enough for your examination and for your knowledge. Correct? Okay, Shubham has also given me an answer. Others, please also try. You have just to do the integration. We have e raised to power minus x by 40. So you have to integrate it if you know what is the integral. And then you have to take the limits. Actually, let me continue, otherwise it will be hard. But Shubham and Himanshu, you have done well. I think it's correct. Yeah, it's correct. Now, you can see your answer is just similar to what we are getting. Here, let's see what the limits that we have taken. The maximum limit is sure to be 20. Correct. Now, here we are saying for less than 0, it's 0. So, we have to start at least from 0. This is the starting point. So, here if we take the integral, I will get 1 by 40 outside. Here we have 1 by 40. And if I integrate it, I will get minus of 1 by 40 inverse. So it will be a negative sign with 40 here. So 40 will cancel out 40 and I will get a negative sign. Then if I integrate from 0 to 20, then it will give me minus e raised to power minus 20 by 40. That gives me e raised to power minus half. And for 0, e raised to power 0 gives me 1. But since there is negative sign outside, we are getting 1 minus e raised to power minus half. Correct? And let's see what others answers are. The second answer we are saying we have to find out the probability of a random variable x lying between 32 to 48. 32 to 48, it means now the limits are from 32 to 48 and we have to integrate in a similar way whatever we have done earlier. Find out the answer and it is coming in this form. Okay, third part is very important according to me. If I am working on a book, I have to write it on important. Why it is important? Because it is somewhat different. It is based upon again the concept and the knowledge what we have done earlier. We have learned that whenever looking for probability of capital X greater than equal to some number. Now greater than equal to 25 means from 25 onwards. Limit is not told na. So what it means from 25 to infinity. But we can't go from 25 to infinity. It's not feasible. So what we can do, we will take the complement. What the complement is, we have to go for 1 minus probability of x less than 25. In the last lecture also we have done this type of example. The complement we can calculate and from there we can write down the final answer. Means the probability of x greater than equal to 25 can be written as 1 minus probability of x which is less than 25. So here we have the limits from 0 to 25, we have to integrate it, subtract it from 1 and whatever answer is coming, this is giving me the value of probability that capital X is greater than equal to 25. Fine. So these type of examples you have to cover from your distribution function. And again, let me repeat, a lot of examples are there from the discrete and the continuous portion both. what you have to practice is, the first thing we have to practice, that whenever an example is given either for discrete or continuous, how to use the formula for the integration or summation and find out the missing value, because it is commonly given that this is the function, find out the k which of c what is not given to you. Second thing is, we have to try to calculate the probability for a particular value, that x greater than equal to 2, less than equal to 2, like these type of functions. So these are the most important questions from this distribution function part. Okay. Any doubts if you have, you can let me know. Otherwise, we are going to start with the topic of mathematical expectation, which is again coming from the same theory that we have learned yesterday, the random variables, the distribution function, and some new definitions. Should we start?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Still, I can let you know that you have to practice. Correct. I have stopped. I'm still saying not satisfied, because in class we used to do a lot of numericals. Here it's taking a lot of time on the PPTs, and sometimes is getting in the attendance. So be sure to practice a lot from this part, because it has a lot of examples which are very important. Correct. Some we have covered, but a lot are there. So let's start with the topic, mathematical expectation. Here, what we are saying, mathematical expectation is also known as the expected value. And what it is the summation or integration. Summation when we are working with the discrete values, integration when we are working with the continuous value. It is the summation or integration of the possible values from a random variable. Correct. Now, what the next thing is, whenever we are talking about the expectation, the symbol is to be used is capital E, and in bracket we have the random variable, either discrete or continuous. And how we are going to calculate it? We are going to calculate this as summation of xi pi. What xi's are? Xi's are the values that a random variable can take. Pi are the probabilities of their occurrence. Here we have defined x is a random variable with the probability function fx, and p is the probability of the occurrence. Means in a general way, in a layman language, if I have to tell you what expectation is, then expectation is just the mean of a random variable. The other name that we can say expected value of x. And how we are going to calculate it? By taking the summation of xi into pi. Let's see what other slide is. Here we have seen the same thing what I have described you is coming here. The first thing is, this is mu, which is the representation of mean. But it actually what it is the mathematical expectation. If you are talking about that, if a random variable capital X take the value x1, x2 up to xk, and their probability functions are fx1, fx2 up to fxk, then the expected value or mathematical expectation is given by this formula. It is when it is discrete. If the same thing is continuous, I have to write down integral of xi fxi, x fx. Correct? I think they will not be there. It is just the integration of x fx dx. Correct? So here what we have written earlier, I have told you that it is ex, and it is also known as the mean. So here I have written the definition with the symbol mean, so it will be clear to you, either we are talking about mean or the expected value. It is actually the same thing, and the formula is same. Mu is given by x1 fx1, x2 fx2, and their sum. Correct? So this is what we mean by the expectation. Expectation in English language, if we talk about that, what is the expected value? Suppose you are giving an exam and I'm looking for, okay, what are your expectation from this examination, or what is your expectation from this course? This is one thing. You will let me know that I'm expecting to increase my knowledge, enhance my knowledge, and these type. And if you have given the exam, I will ask you, what is your expected marks? Means what do you think about how much you will get? Okay, just a second, bit coming back. So then you will give me an answer that might be we are expecting 80% or 50%, whatever. So it is actually the average, that how much your expected value is lying about the average type of values. Huh? So here this expectation is coming from that if we have a random variable that can take the values x1, x2, x3 up to xk, and we know what are their probabilities, then we are getting that these are the values of the expectation, means the mean, the expected value. Now it's very simple to calculate if we have the knowledge regarding the random variable values and their probabilities given by the function. So here we have an illustration, an example. Let's suppose a die is rolled and capital X is the number of points on the die. Now all of us know that what are the possible values? We can get the value either 1 to 6, any of the value can appear, and it is already known to us that what is the probability? The probability of getting any of the number on the top. Here's my marker here. So here, what is the probability of getting number 1? It's 1 by 6. Getting number 2, it's 1 by 6. But yes, it must be a fair die, no? So the chances of each of the number to come on the top is 1 by 6, that we call as a probability. Correct? So if we talk about what is the expectation, so expectation can be calculated as 1 into 1 by 6 plus 2 into 2 by 6 plus 3 into 1 by 6, like this. So this is what we have written: 1 into 1 by 6, 2 into 1 by 6, 3 into 1 by 6, up to 6 into 1 by 6. And if we will calculate, it is giving me the value 7 by 2. So this is how expected values, mean, or the expectation of a random variable is to be calculated. Is it clear what we have learned? The new concept that we have started today is expectation. How we are going to calculate? We have to multiply the values that a random variable can take along with the product with the probability distribution, and then the summation. Means earlier in the last lecture we have learned about that if we have tossed 3 coins, then x can the number of heads that can appear is either 0, 1, 2 or 3, and we have calculated their probabilities. Now if I multiply 0 with the corresponding probability, 1 with the corresponding probability, and add them up similarly, then what I will get is the expected value of getting 3 heads, or expected value of getting a head on tossing a 3 coin section. Hope so you're getting it.
Yes, ma'am.
Here we have taken an example of the continuous random variable. Here what we have, summation. Summation we have used, let me write down here what we have done. As a formula, we have used summation of xi into fxi. This is what we have calculated for the discrete one. If we talk about the continuous one, in the continuous we are having integral of minus infinity to infinity x into fx dx. This is the formula. X, the values we are denoting by a common one, x, and fx is the function which is given to us as a probability density function. So here we have that if fx is defined as 1 by 2 in the interval of -1 to 1, and it is 0 to it is 0 otherwise, then what is the mean or expectation of x? So how we are going to calculate? It is given by minus infinity to infinity x into fx dx. This is the formula for continuous one. And how we can write down -1 to 1, because it is defined only for -1 to 1. It is not defined for any other point. So from -1 to 1, its value, we have taken 1 by 2 to be substituted in place of fx, x as such, and we have to integrate it with respect to x. So it is x by 2 dx integration from -1 to 1, that is coming as 0. Correct? I think this is extra part. Till now we have not done with this, so let me skip it. We will come to it when we have to show you how the properties are coming into the picture. These are the properties. Let me go through the properties fast, and then time is going to be over. Today, what your task will be that you have to open your books, whatever the reference or textbooks you have, or what I have uploaded, and at least you have to go through these all, that how to calculate expectation for the discrete as well as for the continuous one. Write in the formulas in your notebook, and then try to read on at least the properties. There the proofs are also given. The proofs are as such not in our course, so I have just written in the words what we are going to say and how we are going to use expectation for more than one variable. Correct? So here the first property is, here we are saying, here we're talking about the two random variable x and y, that if we take the expected value or expectation of the sum of x and y, then it is equal to the sum of expected value of x and expected value of y. Correct? Means if I take x plus y, the sum of two random variable and their expectation, it is just same as if we take the expected value of x and expected value of y and their sum. Similarly, if we have the product of xy, the mathematical expectation of the product of xy can be again written as the product of mathematical expectation of x into expectation of y. Correct? This is how we are going to write on. Let's see the next property. Or the third property is, here we are talking about a constant. We are talking about a constant that if we have the product of a and a function fx, and then we will take the expected value or the expectation, then the constant will come out and we are going to take expectation of this fx. E expected value of a into fx is equal to a outside, because if we talk about the expectation of constant, the expectation of constant is always a constant. Correct? So in this case, it is a into efx. Similarly, if I have to add a into a and fx, then expected value of the sum x plus fx is equal to a plus efx. You can note it down if you want to, that if you are talking about expected value of a constant a, it actually comes into the property but not here, then expected value of a constant is the same thing, because there we do not have the values, we are not going to have any other thing. Correct? So if we have taken this, obviously a will come outside and it becomes expected value of fx. Similarly here, e of a plus e of fx. E of a is a and it gives me e of fx. Correct? This is how we have the values. Similarly, if we talk about the fourth property, it is very important and simple also. Here, if we have expected value of ax plus b, a multiplied by a random variable plus a constant b. So again, if you open it, it becomes e of ax plus e of b. E of b means a constant, expected value of a constant is a constant, and e of ax means a comes outside and we have expected value of e. Why I have just elaborated all these, because when we have to work upon these during the numerical, you have to remember all these properties. Right? So these are the properties and assumptions for the expected value. Okay, let me show you what thing is pending. I think we can cover it, because otherwise I will again have to go through this. Let's do it fast. If any doubts you are getting with it, let me know. Otherwise, we are going to start with the last example and then we will finish. What we have is, we have a set of numbers from 1 to 100, another set from 1 to 50. What we are doing is, we have chosen a number from this set, from the first set, and another number we have chosen from the second set. And what we are looking for, we have to find out the expected value of the product. It means if this is capital X, here we have capital Y, then we are looking for the expected value of x into y. And as we have seen, the formula is saying expected value of x and y means expected value of x into expected value of y. Correct? Now, how to calculate expected value? What we have seen is, we have to take the sum of the product of the function, means variable, with the probability. It means if we have 100 numbers, 1 to 100, here we have 1 to 100, and obviously each number can appear on the top. So here we have 1 to 1 by 100 as the probability, which is same. If I do the sum will be give me the product sum, give me the expectation. Let's go through it. Here we have taken y. The numbers are 1 to 50. Their corresponding probabilities are 1 by 50, which is just the same as 1 by 100. Now for expected value of x, we have taken 1 into 1 by 100, 2 into 1 by 100, and so on. It means 1 by 100 we can take outside, and we have the sum from 1 to 100. And if we remember, what is the formula? The formula of n items is n into n plus 1 by 2 according to AP. So if I simplify it, it will give me expected value of x. Similarly, for expected value of y, we have to use the same formula. We are getting this, and using this formula of exy is equal to ex into ey, we can write down the values, do the product, and whatever the answer is, this is our final answer. Correct? So today we have not done much actually in the new concept, but yes, it is the starting of the expectation. We are going to use this expectation formula for the variance and the standard deviation in the coming lecture. Till then, for today, you have to do the examples of the discrete and continuous random variables regarding the distribution function. Then after, you have to learn the definition of the expectation, how to calculate it. Correct? Let me stop. If any doubts you have, you can let me know.